In my last video, I talked about the cars I've owned and collecting the models of those cars over the years. I talked about the 6th generation Camaro, which I have the anniversary model, the 2017 50th anniversary Camaro model that 5,982 were built. I wrote General Motors and I got this from them. If you stop it and read it, you'll see in this paragraph right here that there were only 1,333 convertibles built as the anniversary model. A total of 73,000 2017s were built, of which they designated 5,982 to be the actual anniversary model. Now here's the model I didn't show before. This is it. What's very cool about this model is right here you have the 50, and it is a regular decal on the car. The wheels are very special, only to this car. Brembo brakes in the same orange color. Inside you have the orange stitching, and then on the hood you have the orange stripes with a ghost 50. On the back there's a 50 right here. Inside there's 50 all over the place. There's 50 on the dashboard. This is a very detailed model as well. No Camaro prior to the 6th gen had independent suspension. This is the 1st generation Camaro that has 4-wheel independent suspension. So the rear end is like a Corvette rear end, basically. It's completely independent of itself. Also, the car is completely reconstructed based on the Cadillac now. I believe it was the ATS, or I'm not real sure on that one. However, what it did is it made the Camaro very light, very lightweight. And the lightest one is the 4-cylinder 2.0 turbo, producing 275 horsepower and 294 foot-pounds of torque, which is more torque than the V6, believe it or not. Okay, well, when I bought mine, I didn't know these facts until after the year had ended, and I wrote in, emailed General Motors and got these specific specs. When I went to buy my Camaro, I had a Volkswagen CC, which I really liked, but it was a 12 and I wanted a new car. And I saw this car being developed and I really fell in love, especially with that front end. And the anniversary model weren't very much around. I mean, you got to figure 5,900 cars spread across 50 states or worldwide, whatever. And I wanted a convertible. And then again, I did not knowing this when I went out, there was only 1,330 convertibles made in this model. And even this here model, I couldn't find a convertible. All I found was this coupe, which I went ahead and got. Now, in the V8 manual, there was 1,043 built. In the V8 6.2 liter automatic, there were 3,642 made. In the 6-cylinder manual, 123, and the 6-cylinder automatic, 801. So they made more automatics than they did sticks. Again, with the 4-cylinder, the manual was only 48. Only 48 2.0 manual transmissions built. 48. That's nothing. That's hardly any. And then with the 4-cylinder automatic, only 325 were made. Okay, now you got to figure with 1,332 convertibles and only 325 plus the 48, less than 400 4-cylinders, period, coupe or convertible. Now, when I wrote them, they wrote me back, there is a total of based on our records, there are 73,713 2017 Chevrolet Camaros that were produced in 2017. There is a total of 5,982 that were built for the 50th anniversary models. Okay, here's where it gets real interesting. There are 1,333 that has black color top, and there are only 61 2017 Chevrolet Camaro that has the 2.0 automatic convertible 50th anniversary model. Below is the breakdown in every engine and transmission. So what I have in my possession is a car, only 61 were made. So I have one of 61. I have, since this letter, looked for anniversary models, the 2017 50th anniversary models. Can't find them. I found in about 12 states that I looked into Craigslist, I found two. I found two V8 coupes. Both were over $40,000. Both had low miles. However, the V8 coupe was the highest produced. With a 3,642 made, it was the highest number produced. Of course, now the V8 coupe is probably the most demanded one when in for sale. You know, I've seen so many different, I don't know if you want to call them haters or whatever, but people that just don't like the 4-cylinder. You know, a Camaro should never have a 4-cylinder or even a 6-cylinder. It should all be V8s like the Corvette, all V8s, all 6.2 liter, all 400, and which I have. I have a 2014 crystal red metallic 3LT C7 Corvette in my garage. It has 27,000 miles, and they are very wonderful miles. I've enjoyed every one of them. This car will light the back tires up at any speed under 40. As you're going 35 or 40 miles an hour, you can punch this thing, and it will literally light up. It's an amazing car, faster than hell. And if you take off the two buttons for traction control and stability, you'll lose it. I mean, this thing is so powerful. It's crazy without the computer controlling the car, which I don't drive without that computer controlling because it's crazy. It is crazy fast with 460 horsepower. Because so you can imagine the Z06 with 650 is going to be even crazier and shouldn't be in the hands of an amateur. I don't consider myself a professional either. I consider myself an avid driver. I can handle a car, but I'm not a professional race car driver. So that being said, when I do drive my C7, it's extremely fun. I mean, it's a car to be reckoned with. It really is. I mean, you go out and beat Ferraris and Lamborghinis with this thing. No problem at all. And as far as looks, the new C7 looks so incredible. I was just jaw dropped when I first saw it, and I had to have one. At the time they came out, I had an 09 C6 crystal red metallic, beautiful car, 3LT, loaded. I had the newer style wheels. The spokes go all the way in and not to the lug nuts. I don't like those. This car was off the hook with 430 horsepower. And then it had the exhaust flaps that open that give you an extra 6 horsepower. Okay. When the C7 came out, I looked at my C6 and I'm thinking, this thing's a dinosaur. Not only did people rank the interior. They ranked that rear bumper, and notably, you could take the rear bumper and move it. What's up with that, Chevrolet? Anyway, it's a done deal. C6s have been done, built, and they're all done. 05, 2005 to 2013. So there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's 9 model years built, which is actually, it's at a little high average. The C5 was 97, 8, 9, 2000, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 8 years of C5, 9 years of C6. And now we're on C7. So 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And we know 19 is going to be the same. So 6 years so far of the 7. And my 2014 C7 is just as beautiful as the 2019. And really the only differences that I can find are the newer ones have that camera set up in the front. The front bumper has cameras on either side in the grille, which you can record your driving performance, curb watching, stuff like that. Pretty cool. That wasn't available in the 2014. I believe it came out in 2016. I don't think the 15 has it either. Again, I'm not positive about those two facts. However, I am an avid Corvette lover. When I was 16, 1970, as you see in my last video, I bought a 1958 Corvette, red with the white, fully stocked, 100% for $675. That was the price of them back then. I say, you got to think I'm 16 with $675. At the same time, I was looking at a 63 split window, gold leather. It was a 4-speed with power windows. It had the true factory fuel injection. And the guy wanted $1,300. It had under 50,000 miles. My dad would not loan me the additional money. I had $700, so I needed about $600 to buy the car. Okay. By the way, he's dead. 1999, he passed away. He was a very abusive man, both verbally, physically, mentally. And I never got his approval until I opened up my own business and became a customer of his insurance business. And then I was treated with respect and given privileges I never got as a son. See up there, that picture right there? You see that? That's a Lamborghini Murcielago. I had that car for approximately a year. There's a story behind it. My nephew owned it first, then I had it. The Murcielago was a bad design. The clutch didn't last long. No matter how careful you were, the clutch just didn't last long. And it cost between $12,000 and $15,000 to replace it. So when I sold it, the guy I sold it to locally here in Portland, Oregon, calls me up 6 months later and asks me where you get the clutch fixed. And I told him, I think it's Seattle is the only closest. I wasn't sure. And that's why I sold it. I sold it with a little over 8,000 miles, and the clutch went out at 11,500. So it had a new clutch at 7,000. So 8, 9, 10, 11. It barely made 5,000 miles. It was under 5,000 miles on the second clutch. Then I think it was the second clutch. So anyway, thank God I sold it. On one hand, on the other hand, I really liked the car. It was an impressive vehicle. I mean, it was definitely a machine to be reckoned with. However, my Corvette, my C7, is just as fast. It's virtually just as fast. I think they were both 12-second quarter-mile cars. The Lamborghini, however, I do believe broke 200, and the base C7 did not. It was, I think, 180. I think it was 180 top speed. I've never had it that high. And so here we go. Neat car. Very neat car. And over here we have a 1990 Corvette. Can't see it. That's a boat I put on a barge. little too much, you know. Anyway, he's Reagan here. I think that's Clinton, and then I got Bush on the other side over there. All signed too, all signed. Okay, and here's a boat. You see right here? It's a Trojan, 13-meter Trojan. Wonderful boat. Had it for, I don't know, 6 years. Okay. Excuse my coughing. I had lung cancer, been through radiation treatments, 45 radiation treatments, and kind of left me breathless and coughing. It was only June that I finished the last 15 radiations, so not that long ago, and this is September. Okay. Again, looking all over for this car. Can't find them for sale, especially the convertible. The convertible in any model, whether it be the V8, the V6, or the 4-cylinder, you can't find them. You just can't find them. One of 61. I don't know how that's going to work because of its fact it is a 4-cylinder, but you look back at the history of Corvette, and I've had them all. The C3, okay, let's go to C3. I had the Indy pace car. I had the L82. I think it was rated at 190 horsepower or maybe less. I know it didn't have 200. 190 horsepower. Wow. Then, okay, let's jump up. 84. I had two 84s, an 85 and 86. Had a white one and a blue one. I loved them. When I got them, I loved them. I loved both of them. And they were quick. Neither one of them was much over 200 horsepower. I believe they were 205 horsepower. Crossfire, and the first 700 R4 4-speed automatic, which got the car good gas mileage. Amazing, amazing. So then I went on to buy like this here. That's a 1990 Corvette, tuned port, aluminum heads, 4-speed automatic. This car had 245 horsepower. But if you pulled up in this car with the V8 tuned port, oh, yay, yay. But you pull up in this Camaro with a 4-cylinder, it's like, boo. But yet the Camaro will kick that car's ass. Ah, that's crazy. My 2017 Camaro convertible, anniversary edition, 2.0 turbo, 275 horsepower, weighs in at 3,300 pounds. 3,300 pounds. This car weighs in at 3,300 pounds. Who do you think's going to win? I've got an 8-speed automatic in my Camaro. It has a 4-speed. I'm going to kick its ass. I'm going to kick its ass. Even on the numbers, you crunch them, the Camaro has better numbers. So it's okay to own a V8, 245 horsepower, 1990 Corvette. You've got a muscle car. Really? Oh, boy. I also had, which you can't see, it's up here, a 1986 Corvette convertible, beautiful, red, tan leather. And within the first 6 months of owning it, because these cars ran hot, they were the first electric fan cars. The fans didn't come on right. Everything was all fucked up. And a lot of them, they blew up. The motors overheated and blew up. And they were weak-ass motors. You could rebuild them maybe one time, but they were just weak-ass motors. Okay, so I blew it up. It overheated. So the motor was no good. Out the door it goes. Now, I go out and get a new block, a Camaro, I think it was a Z28 Camaro 4-bolt main, which could be rebuilt multiple times. We put it together. We opened it all up. We bored everything out. We got 400 horsepower out of that thing. We put a 400 crank in it. Back in those days, the crank was so big, the starter had to be shimmied down. So you had these long bolts with all these washers stacked to make it work. I must have went through 10 starters because it would just blow them up after a while. And then you get the car, you'd start it up the first, probably 100 starts were normal. Then after that, they started singing. I mean, it made noises that were screaming. And then eventually, pop, it just stopped. It just stopped working. The last starter I put in it, the block was cracking in that area. It had been pulled so much torque on one side, and those bolts were so long, it started a crack in the block. Well, I put it up for sale, got rid of it. That was the next guy's problem. I wasn't going to worry about it. Anyway, I did have 400 horse in that car, and it did beat the 3LT car. A friend of mine bought a 93 Corvette with the LT1. This car was stock 300 horsepower. He had a badass car, so we raced, and I beat him. I love cocky people, and then you put them down, and like, what? Oh, well, there must be something wrong with my car. No, it's just underpowered. Again, here we go now. 300 horsepower, which is 25 more than my four-cylinder. Big deal. I don't even know that my four-cylinder wouldn't beat that car. I don't know. Gear differently, weights, everything else, all different. So here we go. Now we go up to C5. Okay, let's jump up to C5. Came out in 97. Again, the 5.7 liter, but I believe it was an all aluminum motor. And it was the first LS. And it put 350 horsepower out. Okay. I can get a chip for my Camaro that will, just with this chip, you plug it in under the dash where you do all the plugins for this car for everything. Anyway, you plug this chip in, and it retunes the turbo and the injection system, which is retunable in this car, and get 360 horsepower. Seriously. You can YouTube it. There's a guy who did it with a 2016. I think it was a 2016. And he's got over 100,000 miles in his car now because he drove the shit out of it. And he said, though, but he traveled uphill climbing a mountain, and he gunned it and punched it all the way up there, I guess, and he got the turbo to get red. Now, on a stock Camaro, that wouldn't happen. It would have never got red. But anyway, you can tune these things up to 360 horsepower. That's pretty awesome. I won't be doing that to mine anytime soon because I do like it the way it is. Okay, so I've been babbling, but this is one friggin' awesome car, folks. It is. This is one awesome car. And if you ever have a chance to own one of these, they're rare. And they are going to become more rare as time goes along, just because it was a low build. There wasn't that many made. So, okay, I just wanted to patch up that last video I made because I talked about the Camaro, but I never showed it. There it is. And it's in the garage in the convertible edition. And I'll tell you, I love it, folks. I love it. I just love this thing. Now, for 18, they changed the taillights. They changed the bumper a little bit. Some people like it. Some people don't. They put a camera in this little thing here. So you have your rear view camera, and you have a camera. I think it reads up in your rear view mirror inside. It's pretty cool. Okay. Hey, if you like my video, subscribe to me. Hit the subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. Whatever you want to do. So have a great weekend. Enjoy. Goodbye.